Well, it is just after midnight, and I just finished with For a New Liberty. I really loved my Rothbard book, For a New Liberty. It's the Libertarian Manifesto. It's basically your all-encompassing libertarian manual. It'll answer any question that you have about it. I never knew, but Rothbard was an anarcho-capitalist. And so that's probably why this book really made the wheels in my brain move. This book was written in 1973, but at points I was like, Rothbard? Are you still alive, man? I mean, it was just so relatable and so relevant to today. It was amazing. If you love the nap, this book is for you too. There's something for everyone. There's even pornography in the book. You can read about it. I may be the first person to ever pick up on this and to ever suggest this, but I really think that Rothbard had a thing for redheads, because in 3 places in this book, he used examples about redheads. And in the examples, redheads were like evil, or they had something to do with the devil. So I don't know why he kept picking on redheads, but I appreciated it. You are going to get 403 pages of libertarian awesomeness. You're going to learn about the history and the roots of the libertarian movement, starting off in the 1700s, describing its rise and fall. You're going to learn about property, the state. There's also going to be a huge list of problems in our society and how libertarians in particular would solve these problems. Involuntary servitude, you're going to learn about conscription, taxes, and even mandatory psychiatric commitments, which I have never read about before in a libertarian book. Abortion. Now, this is one area where me and Rothbard, we just don't see eye to eye. Rothbard calls fetuses parasites. When I read that, I was like, Then I just moved on and kept reading. And I'm glad I did, because I learned a lot. Rothbard talks about drugs, and there's actually a super funny quote. Once again, every man has the right to choose. Propagandize against cigarettes as much as you want, but leave the individual free to run his own life. Otherwise, we may as well outlaw all sorts of possible carcinogenic agents, including tight shoes, improperly fitting false teeth, excessive exposure to the sun, as well as excessive intake of ice cream, eggs, and butter, which might lead to heart disease. And if such prohibitions prove unenforceable, again, the logic is to place people in cages so that they will receive the proper amount of sun, the correct diet, properly fitting shoes, and so on. Rothbard's thoughts on public education were really interesting to me. I never thought about school as being enforced geographic homogeneity. That was mind-blowing to me, but it makes so much sense. He talked about the business cycle and inflation, and obviously that made me feel all nostalgic about my Mises from Human Action. I would say one of my favorite areas of the book was when Rothbard talked about what a truly privatized society would look like. So he talks about privatized courts, police system, and national defense. He really provides quite convincing arguments. So that's where my brain was just going crazy. I was like, what? I have so many questions. This is just so much information I have never considered before. I'm a minarchist, but I have never gone full-blown anarchist. I would be okay trying it out, actually. You're gonna read about pollution and foreign policy. Now, Rothbard was quite a rebel. He actually said, empirically, talking the 20th century as a whole, the single most warlike, most interventionist, most imperialist government has been the United States. Wow. He also mentioned so many of my favorite Liberty friends: Thomas Jefferson, Lysander Spooner, Milton Friedman, Mises, Hayek, H.L. Mencken. I love reading about all of the people that I love and other authors' books, so that was super cool. And he was really honest about his opinions. He's been pretty critical about Milton Friedman, that's for sure. I love how the last part of the book is the topic of how to continue the liberty movement, how to make it grow. And seriously, again, I feel like Rothbard is with us today because his main focus is on education, activism, getting the younger people involved. It's exactly reminding me of YAL, what they're doing. So we're going in the right direction. Education is key. One quote that really stood with me is this one. Libertarianism will win because it is true, because it is the correct policy for mankind, and truth will eventually win out. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed my video today. Please like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'm sure, as Rothbard would say, be free.